Oh boy, I hate this forest. Every time I come here, someone turns into a skinwalker. You're not getting me this time. What's with all these skinwalkers? Hey there, everybody. This here is a skinwalker, who you might know to be a cryptid. Cryptids are essentially creatures or legends that people expect to exist, but no one has officially discovered. Now in the past, I've made 2 videos directly about cryptids and one on the Kraken, and those are some of my favorite videos to make, and I've really been itching to make another one, but I've also been waiting for Halloween because who wants to watch a cryptid video in July? Surf's up, Wendigo. But September 27th is close enough to Halloween, so without further ado, here are some obscure cryptids that not many people know about, but I think are pretty cool, and also happen to be exclusive to the Northern Hemisphere simply because I couldn't find any Southern Hemisphere cryptids I liked all that much. Now in the past, I've classified cryptids into the 3 groups of evolutionary mistake, legend, or goofy creature, but I'd like to add a 4th group to that list, which is Sasquatch or Loch Ness Monster clones, because there are a lot of them. One of these cryptids happens to live in Florida, and I don't know if it's just me, but this Florida swamp happens to smell worse than I remember it. Oh gee, that's because of our first cryptid, the skunk ape. This thing is basically Bigfoot, but instead of living somewhere nice, he lives in Florida, and instead of being well known like his Pacific Northwestern or Asian relative, he just sits around smelling like a skunk in a swamp in Florida and terrifies locals. Which sounds suspiciously close to my life, except I live in Michigan and only accidentally terrify girls I like. So I was wondering if you wanted to go to homecoming. He looks and smells hideous. No, please, I'm not that bad. Oh God, why didn't I shower? Honestly, I might have some blame for this Bigfoot being such a bum because maybe at one point he smelled nice, and then when I went to Florida in 2019, my stench was so powerful that his fur absorbed my scent and the smell never went away. But I think I speak for everyone when I say this Bigfoot is not living to his full potential and really needs to shower and stop being such a bum. Isn't that right, skunk ape? Oh boy, what did I land on? Oh gee, it's an Icelandic hidden troll, also called a huldufolk. These things are basically elves or trolls that live in Iceland. Now, I don't exactly know completely what these things are supposed to look like because every source I go to says something different, but what I do know is that these guys are some of the best cryptids ever, which Icelandic people seem to have figured out years ago because the entire country of Iceland seems to look out for their safety. I'm sorry sir, but you can't put a super target near the elf village. A reason I like them is because most of them are said not to be malicious and just spend their day doing stuff like fishing unless you provoke them or throw rocks at them. And I can't think of many things that wouldn't be malicious when rocks are being thrown at them. These elves live the life I want to live and are honestly S-tier cryptids. I hope landing on one of them didn't provoke them. Oh man, I'm in Detroit, which is where another elf-related cryptid lives, the Nain Rouge. The Nain Rouge is a little red dwarf whose presence is supposed to bring about bad events for the people of Detroit. The Nain Rouge was apparently spotted before the Battle of Bloody Run. He caused the surrender of Detroit in 1812. He foretold riots, a snowstorm. He was probably present at some point during the 2013 filing of bankruptcy. The Nain Rouge took our money, I swear! However, despite all of these days there's still an entire debate over whether or not the Nain Rouge is to blame for Detroit's misfortunes, or if he's just a silly little guy with no malicious intentions. Personally, I think we need to do less debating and more exporting this guy south of our border into Ohio so they can deal with them. Come quick, the Lions just won the Super Bowl. While we're still in Michigan, let's go see the next cryptid known as the Michigan Dogman, who resides on the western end of the state. As the name suggests, this thing's basically a large bipedal dog who doesn't have many sightings but is still believed by a lot of people in the state, including me. The reason I mention this cryptid, however, is because Wisconsin also has a cryptid known as the Wisconsin werewolf, which looks suspiciously close to this cryptid, and also leads me to believe that the North Midwest is just riddled with bipedal canines, and citizens of Minnesota better watch out because Wisconsin and Michigan already have werewolves, so the only next logical option is the Minnesota Manhound. Oh geez Louise, you are not a friendly doggy. Our last cryptid is the Mongolian deathworm. As the name suggests, this worm lives in the Mongolian Gobi Desert and causes death. The main reason why I mention this cryptid is to show that cryptids can further humanity in different areas if they are discovered. For example, giant fishing. Come on, bluegill, bluegill, bluegill. Come on, crappies, we know you want it. I think I poisoned this lake. Anyway, that's it for cryptids. What do we have to blame for these strange creatures? Say it with me now. The state of Ohio. Thanks for watching.